the return to office push is not only about collaboration. For many companies, it's the new silent way of laying off without paying severance and without making headlines. If you have been asked to come back to office, whether it's 2 days, 3 days, or 5 days a week, raise your hand in the comment section. Welcome back, guys. I am Varsha, your HR bestie, making you aware of what's happening behind the scenes of these policies. And in today's video, we will understand what this return to office policy actually is, and should you be worried? If not, what you should be paying attention to so that you are aware of all the red flags before anything worse happens. Let's begin. So let's start by understanding the real reasons why these companies are asking their employees to come back to office after successfully working for over 3-4 years from home. What is the need now? Number one reason: cost cutting disguised as culture. I'm sure your company must have sent you those emails, messages, floaters where they say, we miss the culture. We miss the culture of collaboration. We miss you being in the office. It's more productive. We have more resources here. You can collaborate with your team members, all that good stuff. But behind the scenes, return to office has become a soft tool to reduce the headcount without officially calling it the layoff, which obviously saves severance costs to the company. It also keeps their attrition record pretty clean, and it also avoids any investor panic or bad media press release. I don't want to take the name of the company, but I will give you an example just so that you understand the gravity of this situation. This mid-sized tech company in Pune announced mandatory 5 days working from office schedule, and within 3 months, 15% of its employees resigned due to the circumstances, because the company very well knew that a lot of the employees, in fact, all the companies today in today's time know that most of the employees who are working remote are working remotely either from their hometown, or they have picked up responsibilities to pick and drop their kid to the school or take care of their sick parents, and they are currently living a life in which they will not be able to come to work, travel to work 5 days a week. It's just not possible because everybody has accustomed their life according to work from home, and companies know this very well. So if the person who is working from their hometown has to again relocate, even if it is like 1 day or 2 day work from office, it doesn't make sense because they will have to ultimately relocate to the place where the company is, mostly the metro cities. Even that kind of flexibility where company fools you by saying we are not calling you for 5 days, we are calling you just for 1 or 2 days. Come on, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Even if you're calling for 1 day or 2 days, it disturbs the whole environment, the arrangement that employee has made in his or her life to live peacefully basis the work from home model. So they very well know it, and they know if they mandate the 5 day working from office or even 2-3 day working for office from office, there will be a lot of employees who will not be able to follow that. And then what will they do? Obviously they will resign themselves, and then they can call it voluntary resignation, while the reality is they have been pushed or they have been manipulated to take those decisions because there is no other way. So very clearly companies are trying to save their face on the name of return to office. Now the second obvious reason is passive layoffs saves legal liabilities for the companies. India's corporate sector offers minimal protection. If a company fires you directly, they may owe you notice period, severance pay, legal documentation. But if they make your working conditions unbearable or manipulate you in a way that you are forced to resign yourself, then they have no liabilities. They absolutely have no legal liabilities. The minute you send that resignation from your own email ID, the minute you put down your papers yourself, they get a clean sheet. They are free from any sort of legal liabilities. So they force relocation, they force the shift timings that they don't need, but they absolutely know that that timing doesn't work for you, and they force policies like mandatory return to office. They remove prior flexibility, and in a way they push you out of the company while keeping their hands absolutely clean. Reason number 3 is reinforcing power and control. Now during the work from home era, companies lost something which was really valuable to them. They have always thrived on visibility based control. So when people were working from home, managers couldn't walk and check on people. Employees began to value output, deliverables, then wasting time in meetings. Productivity became harder to watch, but easier to measure. So now with return to office, they are flipping this script. You are expected to be seen in office to be believed that you're working. And presence once again has started replacing performance. And control once again returned back to middle management, which has always thrived on hierarchy. They want you to be on your seats, not because you are needed there, but because it reminds them who's the boss. Reason number 4 is the insecurity of middle level management. During work from home, middle level managers felt exposed. Why? Because their value became questionable. What were they actually doing? If you think about it, there are so many managers who thrive solely on control kind of work, where they are trying to control their employees, or they are trying to take advantage of the deliverables of the employee, where they can just put their name on the work that the employees have done and things around that. And all of this becomes little difficult in a remote setup where they do not have as much control on the employee. They cannot always see where the employee is, what the employee is working on. So they feel like they have lost their power, and hence they'll not be able to prove their worth to the higher management, which is obviously a threat to their existence. So that's why many middle level managers are also advocating or pushing the companies to enforce this policy, because it justifies their role, and that's how they can survive. And the reason number 5, which companies fear the most, the fear of dual employment and moonlighting. During remote work, companies discovered a new threat for which they weren't ready. Employees were secretly working multiple jobs. One Zoom call is on mute while other is running in the background. Some employees took that leverage of free time and started building their side hustles while utilizing the resources of their own company. And then employers started noticing inconsistency, absenteeism, divided attention, and missed deadlines. So now this policy of mandatorily return to office has become their surveillance tool. They want to keep their eyes on the employees, they want to reduce the risk of moonlighting, and they want to again take back the exclusive ownership of your time. Because if you are on their desk from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., they know that you are not coding for some other company. But as of now, let's discuss this dual employment point more fairly. I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, the fear is not wrong. To some extent, the fear is genuine. If you're paying somebody a salary to do your work, you would not expect the person to use your resources and use the time they're expected to do your work to build something else. So what exactly this dual employment cost a company? The number 1 cost is that divided focus is equal to poor performance. If someone is actually doing 2 jobs at the same time, it's very unlikely that the person will be able to deliver good or deliver their 100% in both the jobs. If someone is doing another job in their spare time after their office hours, that's a different thing. And I'm very much in favor of the employee who are working that way. Maybe they are building their side hustle, or they are doing another job in their spare time. It's their time. They can do anything they want to. But if somebody is doing 2 jobs parallelly in the same time using the same resources, that's not fair. Another cost that the company pays, or I should say another valid fear the company has, is data security and confidentiality risk. I mean, just imagine if a software engineer is working for 2 rival fintech companies at the same time. This definitely creates IP leakage, compliance violation, and reputation damage. And the third thing that it does is it breach the trust. And when this kind of breach happens, the company kind of punishes 100% of its employees by reinforcing random policies which are not very flexible, which are not employee friendly. But let me tell you, most of the employees are not doing it. Even if dual employment is a reality, very handful of people do it. But with those very few employees, it creates a culture of suspicion where every employee who is asking for flexibility to work from home is seen as a cheater. As if that person is going to cheat, that person is going to work on something else in parallel. While the reality is, most employees don't do it. Most employees do not have the capacity, the bandwidth to do it. One job itself is sucking the damn life out of them. They do not have energy, time for anything else. But the companies are responding to few bad apples by punishing every single employee in the company by enforcing policies like this, mandatory return to office. Hence, the result of such policies, it's disaster. It's impacting employees' life negatively. It's disrupting their routines. People are facing numerous challenges. For example, parenting challenge. If they are a caregiver to their sick parents, then it disrupts that routine as well. And if they have started living in a more remote area where the living expenses are lesser, then they have to leave everything and then relocate to a place again where the cost of living is very high. So it's disrupting the whole ecosystem of the employee, which they have designed over past 3-4 years post COVID based on the work from home policy. So it's not just a policy anymore, it's a power play, and it's costing people their careers because people have to leave. So why we are discussing it? What's the point? What does this means for you? I'm discussing this for you so that you can see the red flags. If the company is enforcing this mandatory return to office policy to lay you off, or it's genuinely fearing anything which you can solve by talking to them. Let's understand. If the announcement of return to office policy is sudden, out of blue, there was no indication, no time given, and all of a sudden they are asking you to return to office 5 days a week or even 2-3 days a week out of blue, and there is no flexibility given as in some time frame of few months to come back to the normal schedule, or flexibility to talk to your manager to see if your profile even needs you to work from office or you can continue work from home. There is no harm in that. If nothing given, no flexibility whatsoever, then that's a very big red flag that they are planning passive layoffs. Another thing to watch is that there is one-to-one pressure on you from your manager to return to work to office, and that pressure is building very fast as if they got no time and they want you to come to office just tomorrow. If that is happening, that's also a red flag. Another thing to watch out for is that you see that the tone in performance reviews is changing. In the performance discussions, your reporting to work is being discussed, your relocation is being discussed, and even after performing really good, these factors are included to rate you below average or poor performers. So if things like these are happening, then that's also a red flag that a passive layoff is behind the doors. So the highlight is, if they are not listening to you, that why you can't come in, if they are not giving you space for explanation or they are not understanding your explanation, then believe me, they are already planning your exit. Save yourself. So what to do? How to protect yourself? Number one, get everything in writing. If they change your job location or they change your shift timings, then ask for things in written. Ask them to provide that information over email. Number two, track everything. Your performance, your praise, your conversation, meeting notes, reviews, feedbacks, everything, because you might need it in very near future. Number three, ask strategic questions without being emotional. Ask questions like, can you help me understand how this will impact my performance? Or questions like, are there any documented concerns with my performance while being remote? And number four, start building your plan B. Look outside, plan quietly, smartly. Do not wait for the system to shake you completely and then you go and search the job. By the time it will be very late, you'll be emotionally so much in shake that you'll not be able to execute that plan B very well. So when it's still time, when things are still on track, start building your plan B so that you can leave peacefully if required. Now, another thing that I want to discuss is that you can flip the script to play it in your favor. Say, for example, that you were anyway planning to leave sooner or later, but you were not actively looking out. Then take this RTO leverage, this return to office leverage, and try to negotiate things that you always wanted. Ask for remote or shift timing flexibility. You can also do that with your future employer. If you're negotiating any terms, you can negotiate with them, because the reason you are leaving your current company is that they are not providing you with this facility, work from home facilities, and that's the reason you are looking out for a job. So it's a very valid negotiation point to your future employer that I will be interested in your offer only if you provide me this kind of flexibility. So that becomes a very high weight negotiation point. In your interviews or even in your current job, you can position yourself as a productivity based professional, not somebody who's location bound. Tell that how productivity deliverables, value deliverables matter to you most, and how you thrive in a work from home setup. You can start branding your remote success over LinkedIn. You should let people know that how you are successfully able to work remotely, how it is positively impacting your deliverables, so that the message is out loud to the world that you actually see your performance being improved after working from home, because it cut down your commute time. When you start your day at work, you are not already tired and drained like you usually do when you travel for 1 or 2 hours in that traffic. So share that message. Let the world know that working from home does not mean that you are just chilling whole day. People actually work very well in remote setup. Finally, I want to conclude it by saying that it's not about office versus remote. It's more about power. This is not about hating the office. This is about the trust, choice, our dignity. Because if the company could run smoothly, generate its regular revenue for 3-4 years now in a work from home setup, when it was a requirement because of whatever, then what happened now? What is making them change their mind? So next time, if they tell you that it's time to come back to office, say that is it really about the culture, or you are hoping that I quietly leave. That's a bold statement to say, but it will definitely convey your message that you are not dumb and you can see things through. So stay smart, stay strategic, and stay in control. Build your plan B within time. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And I really hope I provided some value to you with this video. And if this resonated with you, please leave your feedback in the comment section. It motivates me to bring more content like this one. And with this, I'm signing off. You keep on watching more content on the Corporate Diaries. And I will see you in my next one. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.